What's up? This is Jay, and welcome to my Season 5, Episode 2 recap for Power. Now, I want to give a special thanks to those that join and support me at Patreon.com. I appreciate your support. Without people like you, I wouldn't be able to keep doing this, as well as those that support me on PayPal. Thanks for all your support. I appreciate it. Please remember to subscribe to my channel and also click that like button. And let's get into it, because it's a lot that happened this week. So first off, we see these two guys, and they literally fresh off the boat talking about what they're going to do once they get in California, what they're going to enjoy. And it turns out that they the Serbians, because first thing we see is these Spanish guys have them at point blank range, and they saying, hey man, you all don't have access to these ports. And they're like, oh man, we got it cleared. We got it cleared with the Jimenez. They like, nah, ain't no ports cleared here. And they like, oh, okay, well, we know mistakes happen. I guess we might as well just leave and have it figured out. And so it seemed like they was doing the smart thing, since they, they're dead to rights with machine guns. But no, they stupid. They try to turn around with two handguns like they gonna outgun them all like they was Samuel L. Jackson or something. And so what ends up happening is they ended up getting chopped up with the choppers, and the guys just picked them up and threw them in the Black Lagoon. And so once they got tossed away into the Black Lagoon, then they pretty much, that was the end of them. And you could hear the Jimenez, and they were talking about what went on. And so then we cut, and we see Tasha, and she's in Raina's room, and you would think she crying, but ain't no tears coming out. But she's sad, heartbroken, with a picture of Raina on the bed. And we see Tariq, he laid in the bed, and he's listening to his mama crying and carrying on over Raina. And then we see Ghost, and he's having a hard time listening to Tasha crying and whatever inside her room. And so she's still having a hard time dealing with it. And so Tariq, he comes in trying to console her, but he's the last person anybody would want to see, because it's all his fault. And so as soon as he come in talking about you all right, she walks right up out of there. I mean, what could he do? What could he say? Don't nobody want to hear from him. He ain't nothing but a mess up. And so next we see later in the morning, Tommy come over to the house, and there's Keisha, and she making pancakes or whatever. He trying to be nice to her or whatever, and he talking about them the pancakes with the bananas. She like, yeah, you want some? So Tommy gonna get his eat on. And so he in there sitting there eating, and she's saying, so what happened, Tommy, with Tasha and Tariq? Because she said to say if somebody asked that we was here all night. And he like, oh, ain't nobody gonna ask Keisha. It's all right. It's best you stay out of it anyway. And so she's trying to steal fish for information. And while they were doing that, they go Tariq peeping around corners. He listening to what's going on. And so he's eavesdropping. And so Tommy, he pretty much didn't tell her nothing no way. So it wasn't nothing that he could hear. And so he pretty much put his hand on her knee as a signal to see where they stand. And she got up with the quickness and was like, oh, well, yeah, thanks or whatever, and pretty much brushed him to the side. Didn't accept his advances, didn't give him no smiles or nothing. And Ghost came in, and he asked her, well, where's Tasha? She like, oh, she said she had to step out. And he like, oh, okay. All right, well, anyway, Tommy, you ready? And so he ain't let her know that he was more concerned about what Tasha's up to. He just played it off like it was nothing, and they dipped. They was ready to roll. Meanwhile, we see Tasha. She's over here at some restaurant, and we wondering who is she going to meet over here. Is it Terry, or is it going to be Angie? And it turns out it's Angie that pop up, and she's asking, is there anybody else that may have known about Tariq and Ray Ray? And she's like, I don't know. It could have been. I'm not sure. And she's like, well, you need to check out and find out. And so she checking it out and see what's going on. And so meanwhile, we see Kanan, and he's posted up on the wall like graffiti. Then we wondering, well, what's he doing? And then we see he waiting for Tommy and Ghost, and Tommy snapping off. What happened? What went on with the connect? And he's snapping. He all loud or whatever. And then Kanan get in his face. Hey man, you better lower that tone. And he said, man, my people was where they needed to be. they said that it's the other people that didn't do their job, and Tommy ain't believing it. He like, man, I don't believe that. He like, hey man, look, they was there. They said he got a phone call, like somebody gave him the warning, and he started running like he was spooked. So then said he heard some shots pop off in the back, and so they was thinking that the Italian hitters must have got a hold of Dre. And then he said later that night when he went to his car, he saw that card on his windshield. He's like, man, I seen this card before in the joint, but I ain't never know who it was from, so I ain't know what to think of it. And they like, oh man, that's Dre. That's the Jimenez. He's saying he got the support of the Jimenez, and they got his back. He gave me one too. He put it in my pocket himself when I was at funeral site. He like told Tommy like, why you didn't kill him? He like, man, he walked up on me. I wasn't strapped, man. I wasn't prepared. Then all of a sudden, this Benz truck roll up. These dudes hop out with machine guns, so they immediately grab their straps, pull out they things, and so now it's like a little gun battle. And they didn't start shooting though. Everybody kind of wondered what the next one gonna do. And then Tommy, they like, what is this, Tommy? He like, man, that's Jason. I move his weight. Put the guns down. And so then he's snapping. He like, Tommy, what happened with those ports? That was garbage, man. You cost me 2 of my men, and we lost the shipment. Now you owe us $2 million. Then Tommy sitting there looking stupid as always, don't know what to say. Then Tommy like, man, I was just about to call you, give you your money. He like, see, now I told you, stop messing with ghosts, working with ghosts, and here you are. I don't know what to do me more justice, give my money or just kill you now. And so then the dudes get their guns ready, and then Tommy like, wait, I can make this right. I can get you the ports and get you the money. He like, you gonna kill the Jimenez? He like, if that's what it takes. And so now Ghost and Kanan is looking like, man, what in the world? And so he like, well, unless you gonna kill the Jimenez, you ain't gonna be able to get those ports. And so, now I want you to work with Ghost, since Ghost is still here, and I told you leave him alone. And who is this right here? Because I don't know who this is. And he pointed at Kanan, and then he walk over to Kanan, and he like, who are you? And Kanan, of course, he gonna speak up. I'm an old friend. He like, oh, okay, well, old friend, now you in it too. And so then he walk off. He like, I'm gonna let you know when the ports come, when the shipment is coming in, Tommy. And so as Tommy and as he walking off, Ghost like, this is a suicide mission. And dude ain't trying to hear it. He don't give a damn, and he probably want him to die. And so Ghost, Tommy, and Kanan looking stupid because now Tommy then brought them into something else. And now Ghost like, man, I didn't try to kill another Connect. I just wanted to get rid of Dre. He like, this is better. If we get rid of the Jimenez, then Dre ain't got nobody to fall back on. And he like, man, we don't have no inside. This ain't Lobos or Milan. We don't have no inside. And then Kanan like, nah, this will work out. We can get him off. And so meanwhile, we see Diego Jimenez, and he in his skyrise apartment banging this one chick up against the glass, and Dre walk in, and he like, oh man, my bad, I'll come back. Then Diego, he just crazy. He like, nah, you just wait. I'm almost done. I like to have an audience. And so he like live performance art. And so he keep going or whatever. He got another girl on her knees behind him. And Dre, he trying not to look. He ain't really all into that type of thing. And so Diego, he just going on. He about wrapped up now, finished up. And so he's still butt booty naked right in front of Dre. He gonna make him one of his bitches. And so he walk over to Dre, swinging low. And so Dre, he tried to look at him out of eye, but that one eye was probably trying to wander. And so Diego put his robe on, and he talking about him getting raided at one of his places, and then he want Dre to make up the money at the nightclubs. Talking about when his Bassett gonna open it up. He like, man, I'm working on it. And then he pretty much is telling Dre all the stuff he wants from him. Talking about we ain't got time for no mistakes. And so meanwhile, we see Tommy. Pete just not coming out of his house. He been going through a lot lately with all the little mess ups he been making as usual. And as soon as he come out, Sammy waiting at his front door, and he in Grand National. And so he talking about, come on, let's go for a ride. They ride nothing but old schools. And so Tommy go ride with Sammy, and next thing you know, they find that this young hitter that he hired is laid up leaking in the garage. And so he like, what? No wonder you didn't answer my calls. What happened? And so he like, man, the guy you hired us to get, he was strapped, and he got the drop on us. And he like, what happened to my other partner? And they like, oh man, he dead. And so Tommy looking like, ooh, this ain't looking too good. He like, man, I'll be all right. He like, man, we want to get you a doctor. You want me to call your parents? He like, nah, I'm good. Just tell, you know, what happened. Make sure that he know what went on. And so he like, all right, we'll let him know. And so then he was getting ready to, Tommy went behind him, pulled out his gun. He was about to shoot him, so he couldn't talk. And Sammy like, man, we don't handle it like that here. Things is different. We need to talk. That's his godson. And so he went on ahead and let him be. And so they walked off. Meanwhile, we see Proctor, and he's sitting there having a little dinner. And next thing you know, while he's sitting there yucking it up with his boys, Mock comes in. And so he asking him about why he got this censure or whatever. And he was saying, hey, I can throw me some dirt on some of your clients and I can remove the censure. And he like, so you want me to break the law in order to, you know, get her past the law? And he like, man, that's crazy. Who the clients? He like, I'm not telling you nothing until you agree. He like, oh, well, I guess we ain't gonna find nothing. And so we see Tasha walking by in their closet, and then go say, where were you this morning? And she like, oh, I had to run an errand. And she like, where are you about to go? He like, oh, I got an errand to run. So she kind of throw a little side eye, because she know that's her own medicine. She like, I got to ask you about Tariq. He like, yeah, I got to ask you about Tate. She like, what? He like, yeah, he want us to come and do a little speech press conference to see if anybody got any information leading to arrest for the murder of Raina. She like, no, absolutely not. He like, well, they just think it can raise money from the donor. She like, we know who killed him. Anybody that bring information forward for a reward or whatever, they can bring more eyes to Ray Ray. You need to ask Kanan if anybody else knows about Tariq and Ray Ray. Of course, it's going to end up being Destiny. But anyway, so he like, yeah, I asked him. He like, I'm out of here. Good night. And so he leaves. Meanwhile, we see Dre and this dude, his right-hand man, look like B-Hop the way his nose got punched in. But anyway, he talking to him, and they talking about, you know, the inner workings of what's going on or whatever. And so he telling him that he want him and Spanky to run the Blind Pig on this deal or whatever they got running. And so they getting their little marching orders or whatever. He feeling good, thinking that he you know, moving up the ladder. And then Cristobal come, and he like, hold on, man, let me talk to him for a minute. And B-Hop, he was like, nah, man, I'm gonna stay here. And Dre was like, nah, it's cool, he cool. And so Cristobal let him know. He like, hey, man, we got a power vacuum with these two dudes. And so we need to make sure that one of these dudes take power. He like, all right, so who do you think should be getting it? He like, well, this dude, he a little older or whatever, and he ain't gonna be backing down from dude. And the other dude, he young, and he like, young, okay. And then the B-Hop like, man, that's good, man. He young, I mean, he don't know nothing, man. You can mold him. He like, yeah, that's the play. That's what we gonna. So Dre and his crew, they walk on out, and right when they walk out, that's when Ghost say, man, there go Dre, we could have got him right now. And so he like, yeah, but we can't. We got to follow him so he can lead us to the Jimenez. And so Ghost, he like, yeah, sorry, Ghost, about your daughter. And Ghost ain't say nothing. And he like, besides you, who else knew about Tariq and Ray Ray? And he like, I don't know. Brains knew about it, but ain't nobody seen him in a while. Plus, he know if he messing with Tariq, that's messing with me. And he like, I don't know. He like, Tariq stepped up though, man. Don't worry about it. He cold with it. He smooth. He cold with it. I don't know why he blowing it up like Tariq just the ultimate gangster when Tariq ain't nothing but a mess up at everything he done did. But Kanan start pumping him up like that. Ghost like, I don't want that life for Tariq, man. And he like, I don't want that. He like, well, you'd be out if it wasn't for Tommy. So he put that bug in his ear about Tommy messing him up, bringing him back in. Meanwhile, we see Mock, and he coming out to Waterhead Silver's office. And so he say, hey, man, how come you wasn't on the list as witnesses for Proctor? He like, man, he didn't need me. He like, oh, yeah, he does. I figure if he didn't put you on the list, you must not have nothing nice to say. He like, man, I'm not here to service you. He like, oh, yeah, you got a lot of stuff not nice to say. Here go a subpoena. I'll see you there. And so he put it in Terry's hair, coat jacket and walked off. Meanwhile, back in Uptown, we see, again, Tasha, and she's hurt and she's mourning over the loss of her daughter. Remember that Annie concert and in season 1, and Ghost come and he like, yeah, Tasha, I spoke with Kanan, and she like, and what happened? He like, some dude, David Struthers Smothers or something, but ain't nobody heard from him in a while. He think he probably dead. And she like, okay. And he like, yeah, I ain't been in this room since it happened. She like, you can't come in and I can't come out. And she like, yeah, I'm still hurting, Ghost. And so then she asked, is he gonna send him to Choate? He like, man, probably do need to get him away. She like, Reverend Mastodon said it's a grief group we should go to. Ghost wasn't feeling it, but she kind of talked him into going, so they gonna go ahead and go. Meanwhile, we see Angie, she working, looking at her desk, looking at the pictures of the gold gun and different stuff, when all of a sudden, she get a text, and it's a text from Tasha talking about David Struthers' street name, Brains. So Angie, she gets on the computer and she checks it out and finds out that he's deceased. And so then she sees the picture. She started investigating a little more, see his close ties, and he's deceased as well. And next thing you know, she get a knock on the door from her boss to come to this meeting that they having. And so Angie once again got to stop what she doing with the quickness and come down to this meeting that she was getting ready to be a part of. Meanwhile, we see Tommy, and he then went to the jail to visit Paparazzi. And so Pops, he's pissed. And he asked Tommy, he like, yo, Tommy, first thing Tommy tried to come talking about, sorry to hear about your wife or whatever. And so he like, what do you mean? He like, oh, Sammy said she wasn't doing too good. And he like, oh, I didn't know nothing about that anyway. Tommy talking too much. Looked like he done got beat up in there, Teresi too. But anyway, he like, I heard you threw a party. But the problem is you threw a party and the guest of honor wasn't invited. And so Tommy got his head down like a kid, looked stupid. He like, what you're going to do is you're going to go and tell them about what happened. You're going to apologize, and then you're going to accept whatever punishment that they give you. And so Tommy ain't used to organized crime. He's an unorganized criminal. The only organization he ever had was with Ghost, and Ghost still kind of had him at free range. And so now Tommy know he playing in the big leagues. Meanwhile, we cut in and we see Proctor, and he's defending himself to get his law license back because John Mock is trying to say that he had a conflict of interest when he was representing Ghost, and then because he had represented Tommy previously. And so he making a good case, saying that it's all about Mock sour grapes, and that the client that he was representing was innocent. And so you got the lady, she asking him questions about his case or whatever. She say, well, let's hear from one witness. And so they bring out Terry, and Terry come in. And so this dude got to say all this stuff like he just Mr. Krispy Kreme, super clean lawyer when he over here sleeping with the same client's wife. And so he's saying about how Proctor operates in a gray area and stuff. And Proctor like, so let me ask you, was the client innocent? He like, well, that's not the point. He like, that is the point. They're saying that I did told him, recommended that he don't accept a sentence when he was innocent. So you guys wanted me to have an innocent man accept a guilty plea and put him in jail. Neither Tommy Egan or Ghost wanted to go to jail for a crime he didn't commit. He like, they interest didn't converge at that time. This dude got all these notes on the top of his head, all them lines in his forehead. He done took notes to bury Proctor, even though Proctor threw him that case. And so Proctor just looked in disbelief like, this simp lawyer punk fool sold me out. Meanwhile, we see Tommy and he with Sammy and the doc. So they come to go help old boy out. And the doc like, hey man, this dude is dead. And Tommy like, what? No, check him again. And he like, man, he tried to check him again. But he noticed after Tommy yelled at him, check him again. He like, nah man, dude is dead. And he like, hey man, I get paid either way, man. So I get paid. So the doctor collect his fee and he bounced. He up out of there. And so now Tommy like, man, you snitched on me to Teresa. You didn't even give me a chance to explain. He like, why should I? I told you stay away from them and you didn't listen. It's clear that you above out of your league. You above your head right now. And now you got to explain 2 dead bodies. So meanwhile, we see B-Hop and Urkel, and they rolling in this black Cadillac. And so B-Hop, he asking them, hey man, we about to be moving on up in the world. I've been rolling with Dre the longest. I'm number 2. He like, well, that's what's up, because if you number 2, I'm number 3. And so Urkel, he think he moving on up. And so next thing you know, they see this Toros Locos walking down the street. I don't know what neighborhood they in to just see him walking while they driving. But anyway, Hopkins, he like, hey man, Dre wanted that Toro dead. And so Urkel like, man, we should wait, man. We should wait. And he like, man, come on, man. I'm about to go ahead and help him out, man. We gonna go ahead and take this out, man, and move on up. Bust a U-turn. So he take the caddy, spin it around, bust a U. They see old boy, he walking, he ain't noticing nothing. He ain't noticing them turning nothing. And Hopkins pull up on him in the caddy and then spray him up and leave him out, laid out, leaking like the Kool-Aid man on the side of the road while they peel off. Hopkins' nose bent in, pull off, they ain't ready for nothing. Worried about nothing. And so dude is dead now. And so now he done messed up because they didn't want that hit to be traced back to him. Meanwhile, we see Tasha done talked Ghost and to come into the grief group. Pastor Cavassier is there. He ready to help give a shoulder to crown. He got them shoulder pads in his suit. We see Monique. She right there waiting, and she there to moderate. And so they first start off in prayer, and everybody putting their heads down or whatever for prayer. And of course, Ghost got one eye open. He looking up to see is these people really buying into this. And so they started off, and then they got this one dude, and he's talking about how he still sees this drunk driving dude going to get to the liquor store and get in the car, and how he want to kill him. He know he gonna end up killing somebody else. And Ghost is like really touched by this story. He's listening. Then he's like, man, is it wrong for me to want to kill this guy? And they like, well, sometimes people have those feelings, but you just gotta trust in the Lord. And Pastor Cavassier, he like, yeah, is there anybody else that want to share? And then Tasha was about to raise her hand, but Ghost went in and blocked her hand like LeBron James in the playoffs. And so she got a little salty, but she kept her cool or whatever. And so when they was leaving and they back in the car, Tasha like, so what's up, Ghost? Why you couldn't talk and get this off my chest? He like, that ain't the best place for that, Tasha. And Tasha like, well, I need to talk to somebody. I want to talk. I know how to talk without telling all our business. And he like, well, that's just not the most appropriate place. Those people don't understand what we going through. They don't understand all of this. And she like, so what should we do then? Call and ask Pastor Cavassier to hook us up with the drug dealers that lost kids hotline? And then she closed the door, not realizing that she could say the wrong thing and the people could call the police, turn them in. So anyway, she get off, she mad, and he called Councilman Tate, and they come to see that he running for governor. And so he like, yeah, man, I talked with Tasha, and it don't seem like she got the right state of mind right now. So I don't think that'd be best for us to come up there and speak. And he like, oh, okay. Well, I got this function going together tomorrow. Why don't we have her come by and take a look? And then once she see all the stuff going in, she may feel differently. He like, all right, man, I'll talk to her again. And so he's putting together his whole campaign to be governor. He trying to move up and have real power. And so Ghost, he don't know he's getting played. And so meanwhile, we see Angie, and she's in the office, and she's talking with the tech dude. And he's trying to say, hey, I never congratulated you on the promotion, while he's sitting there looking like a young Eddie Munster with that V-fro. But anyway, he's like, yeah, and also maybe now you could talk with the tech people about my password because I can't get in. And she getting a call from Ghost. And he like, oh, and I'm sorry for calling you toxic. And now that you don't mess with that James St. Patrick character again, you're doing great. And she like, oh yeah, thanks. Nah, I'm all good. And not knowing he's still blowing her up. And so meanwhile, we see Hopkins, and he walking back in. He all happy. Don't worry, call off the hitters. I aired that Toro's out. And he like, what? What you say? He like, man, I aired dude out, man. He gone. He like, Dre is like, man, you had only one job to do. What was you doing? He like, man, I did that. I made the pickup and I aired him out. I had a busy day. You welcome. So he think he a mover and shaker doing stuff, but he don't know what he doing. And so Dre, furious, said, hey man, I can't even look at you right now. You need to get out of here. Get out of here. I'll talk to you later. And so he furious. He got his little nose flaring up, and he leave. And so Cristobal say, man, he messed up. If anybody find out, we dead. You need to kill him. And so Dre, he listening. He don't want to kill him because that's his boy. So he go outside. He like, dude, like, man, what was all that jumping hard for, man? He like, man, I'm not your boy. He like, you work for me. You had one job to do, and you don't get it. And he like, man, I'm saving you trouble. I'm the one trying to help you out. You wanted 3 bodies to drop. Now only 1 body drop. He like, no, we don't do this your way. When the stuff is said, you do it my way. This is my way. This is my organization, which I'm kind of glad Dre kind of stepped up. He see what it's like to be the boss. You got to check these idiots. And so, dude, like, man, I remember when we met, you wasn't nothing. He like, hey, man, look, you work for me now. It don't matter what it pretty much what we was when we met. It is what it is now. And while all this is going on, Kanan in the cut just watching, lurking, ready to pounce like a roach, run when they ain't looking. And so we see Tasha and Angie sitting there on the phone, and next thing you know, Tasha meet up, and so Tasha like, so what did you find out about Brains? It seemed Angie only want to meet up and hook up with Tasha. Now she don't want to meet up with Ghost no more. I don't know what's up with that, but she like, yeah, he's dead. And she like, what? That's good then. She like, did you do it? Tasha like, no, I didn't do it. I didn't. Which is a stupid question. If she killed him, why would she give the name of him and ask her to look him up? That was a dumb question. And so Angie like, you sure you guys had nothing to do with the murders of Brains and such? She like, no. How would I know? She like, well, we need to make sure that this is it. And so Angie walk off, Tasha sitting there looking stupid, wondering about how deep a mess they in. And so Dre, he does something smart. Him and Cristobal, they meet up with the young boy that they wanted to have in charge. And they like, yeah, man, it's good that you whacked old boy. And he like, you did that, right? And so they pretty much making him feel good about it, and then saying you did it, right, to make him take credit for killing the other Toros Loco. And he like, yeah, that's the type of person we want on the team. And he introduced Dre as the new boss, they new connect. And so we see Kanan, and he pop up, and so now his plan's starting to unravel, which is something that I predicted in my other videos. And so he meeting up with his crew, and they like, so what's up, man? Now we gonna take over Dre territory since he dead? He like, nah, that went sideways, but we got a new plan. He like, how we gonna get money? He like, man, I met Tommy's Connect, so after all this is over, I'll just take over Tommy's organization. And so Kanan, he ready to take over regardless of whoever come first. And so you got little Boosie and them, they talking about going to party or whatever. And they like, yeah, man, let's go ahead. I'm trying to make it rain. And then he make a little joke about the girl, talking about she ain't got no brain, but her body is crazy. Talking about she off to see the Wizard of Oz, get her brain back. Then so meanwhile, we see Tariq, and he in the house playing video games, which he'd be standing in the corner. If it was my house, he wouldn't be playing no damn game, relaxing. But anyway, Tasha walk in, and he like, where you about to go? She like, I gotta go to a function. But he like, yeah, I know everything's my fault, and everybody know it. And she like, it's all right, I believe in you. You gonna be all right. You gonna do good. So she pumping him up or whatever. And so he talking about he plan on doing better. So we'll see. We know that ain't even capable because he an idiot. Meanwhile, we see Councilman Tate, and he's having a little meeting or whatever on TV. And when Ghost and Tasha come in, he like, oh, and here's James and Tasha St. Patrick. Even though they're still mourning the death of their daughter, they were able to come here and show some support for what we got going on and say a few words. Come on up. And so he pretty much ambushed him, and Ghost is like shocked that he just pulled that. And Tasha is looking mad as if Ghost is a part of this or whatever, helped set it up. And so he has them come on up. They got the little poster for Raina for $50,000 reward. And so Ghost and Tasha, they walking on up. And Ghost, he comes and he really does say a few words, keeps it simple, and moves on. And then they take a few pictures or whatever, ain't really much to report. And then Tasha, she had to come blow up the spot and had to start crying. She got more emotional right here than she done been in her bedroom while she crying, holding the pictures or any of that. She starts actually shedding tears. She talking about how everybody's responsible for the death of her. No, everybody ain't responsible for that. But anyway, she started going hard. I know a few of y'all gonna say I'm real hard on Tasha, but it is what it is. And so she caused more of a scene than anything. And so now we see Tommy, and he's talking to Vincent, who runs the little crime family that he's now a part of, and he's asking what happened here. And so Tommy say, man, I hired your godson and his partner to grab a guy I had beef with, and it went sideways. And I'm sorry. It wasn't intentional, and I'm apologizing. And so he like, so I appreciate you being upfront with me, but now I got 2 dead families that I'm gonna have to deal with. And so he like, I know this don't make it better, but I took care of the guy that did this. I know it doesn't make it right, but that guy, I took care of him. And so they like, is that true, Sammy? And first thing he did is ask Sammy, and Sammy vouched for him. Was like, yeah, he made it right. And he like, okay, well, now you owe me. You're going to take 50% less profit on the business, and you're going to pay the restitution. He like, all right. So then Tommy asking Sammy thanks. He telling him thanks for what he did, and Sammy punched him in the mouth, bust his chops. He said, man, I had told Teresi I wasn't going to let him hurt you, but I'm never going to lie for you again. And so Tommy looking all stupid, busted up, because Tommy, of course, doesn't know what he's dealing with, and he's going to dig himself in a deeper hole. Meanwhile, we see Ghost, and now he's talking to Tasha after the fact, trying to tell her about how Tate set them up and ambushed them, and Tasha ain't trying to hear it. She cussed him out and walked off before he could even finish speaking, which of course is her go-to move when she should learn to listen and hear what each other has to say by now. And so Tate comes over and Ghost snaps, you set us up, man, what the hell? And then he's like, hey, look, man, it'll all come out okay in the end. And so he kind of smooths him over. Meanwhile, we see Dre, and he's sitting at the top of the world at this party, got this beautiful woman by his side, and she congratulating him on everything that's going well and how he gonna get a promotion to Paris soon. And she says, one problem, we got this guy up there ordered 3 bottles of Dom, said he ain't paying, said he know you. And so Dre gonna go check it out, see what's shaking. He go up there, he sees somebody passing out his party favors, and next thing you know, we see a girl, it was Diego, he passing out booger sugar like it was hors d'oeuvres. And so she getting a little booger sugar supply surprise, and then he comes up. Dre is like, "Hey, what's up?" And he like, "Hey, what's going on? I like your system. You're doing good." He like, "Hey, I told you I know what I'm doing." And meanwhile, while they conversating, Ghost got his eye on them, watching them the whole time. And so they like, "Yeah, I want you to bang Francesca as a thank you." As a congratulations for a job well done. And he like, nah, man, I'm good. He like, I want you to do it now. And so Dre pretty much is under his control. I mean, he tell him what to stick his ding ding in, and he do it. I mean, that's ultimate control over somebody that work for you. And so Dre come in there. He like, how much is gonna cost for say we did this? She like, oh, you don't get it. He gonna smell me, and if I'm dry, we both dead. We might as well just have some fun and get it over with. And so first thing he do is start kissing her. And yeah, she look good or whatever, so she ain't a $2 hoe, she a $10 hoe. Still common denominator. She got hoisms. And so he about to bang. She lifting up her dress for him, and he start getting ready to assume the position. He starts smashing and grabbing her hair and riding her like she was the Black Stallion or something. And so he tearing it up a little bit in there, even though he got that hot ass trench coat on. And then Diego walk in. He like, okay, now it's my turn to watch. He wanted to see what Dre was packing. And so Dre like get all shy and cover up and run away from her. He hiding like he was just got busted by his mom. And Diego and the girl started laughing or whatever. And so Dre is out. And I think that was all about an ultimate control move to see how much power he got over Dre and how much fear Dre has of him. Which he gets off on. Worst part for Dre is he put his sausage inside old girl without any protection. And so after he pulled it up out of that hot box, he better double check because his sausage might have popped like a hot dog in the microwave too long. And so now we see Angie, and she back at work. And so right when she there, she gets a text again, call from Ghost, her Jamie, and she doesn't answer the phone. She just keep playing him to the left. And so he leave a message. He calling, he fiending, and he like, Angie, I need you to pick up for me. I'm doing bad. And so she didn't pick up. You know, she was listening to one of his messages he left earlier when she was in the restaurant, but she didn't listen or pick up then. And so Ghost sitting in the car, he in like murder mode. And so next thing you know, we see that he's looking at the guy that was drunk driving that the one guy the grief group was talking about. And so now Ghost, he about to turn into Daredevil Part 2. Instead of he a vigilante now, he asked dude about drinking and driving. He like, I don't know who the kid was. And next thing you know, Ghost just stabbed him to death. And so now he done turned into a vigilante mode, you know what I'm saying, Negro-lante or whatever. And so dude is stabbed up dead, pour out a little liquor for his homies, and that was all we wrote for Jeff. But I think that was kind of a dark and kind of a shot out of left field that Ghost is now a vigilante. I mean, I don't understand what that's all about. But anyway, I guess he's trying to balance his books and have some good deeds on the left side of the ledger. But anyway, it was a good episode. They're cramming a lot into these episodes in a short amount of time. I think they know they only got 10 episodes, so they're trying to fix the story by putting a lot into it. And so it's a lot for me to cover in just, a short amount of time. I already cut out a few scenes more than I normally do. In the end, thanks for watching. Continue to subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.